Car chases are dangerous and unpredictable. Viewer discretion advised.
Hello, everybody. This is breaking news on KCAL 9 and streaming on CBS News Los Angeles. I'm Juan Fernandez, Desmond Shaw in Sky 9 right now. We're following a police pursuit on the I-5, as you see right here, a slow one at that, of that semi right there. Let's get right up to Desmond Shaw with what's going on. Des.
Well, Juan, this is the opposite of a high-speed pursuit.
Right.
This is a snail's pace pursuit. Look at this right here. You can see only going maybe 10 miles an hour if we're lucky, or southbound 5 as we come off the Grapevine. We're just passing by Pyramid Lake right now. This started in Kern County. We understand it was Kern County Sheriff's deputies who initiated this pursuit. Apparently a stolen big rig, and just going along ever so slowly here, southbound on the 5. It looks like CHP has actually shut down lanes of the freeway. Well, let's see what they're doing here. Are they finally going to pull over to the right-hand shoulder, or maybe they're trying to dodge? They're trying to dodge a spike strip right there. So CHP has attempted to spike this person several times. There they are evading yet another spike strip. This driver going so slow, it's allowed CHP to get way ahead of them and plan out trying to spike the tires, but so far the driver has seen it coming, probably because they're going so slow and because they have such a high vantage point. But here we go, southbound 5 as we make our way towards Castaic, Juan.
Yeah, no kidding. Look at that, 8, 9, 10 miles an hour. Has the truck started going southbound, Desmond? I mean, we know this isn't a 16-wheeler. It's just the front part of the big rig. What would we call this? I can't remember the name of this.
I guess this would be the cab. The
cab, right?
Cab, yeah. Of the 18-wheeler. So, yeah, you know, not towing anything, and you have to wonder if this was, you know, stolen at a truck stop earlier or something. You know, there's a lot of truck stops up off the 5 and the 99 up in Kern County where you might see, you know, tons of big rigs pulled over, and who knows what this person. You know, what they did. You know, we've seen big rig pursuits in the past where they were stolen out of a yard, though, so we don't have those details yet, but it was reportedly stolen. Been trying to peer through the windshield to see. It appears that there's only one person inside. It might be a man who's driving this. And, well, now speeds. Actually, I was zoomed in there, so. No, you know, now we're up to the blistering pace of 25 miles an hour. It was my speedometer was off there just because I was way zoomed in, but zoom back out. So here you see up into the double digits now. But we're heading up towards Temple and Highway. CHP is set up all over the place with spike strips, but they need to either stay to the right side or towards the center divider. They're not going to come out into the middle lanes. They have to protect themselves, and this person has just been unfortunately dodging them. And, you know, even if they do, Juan, maybe you might remember a pursuit last year that we covered with a stolen big rig where that big rig was spiked no less than a dozen times, and that pursuit still went on for several hours. So it's not even clear that it would matter if they did spike the tires.
Yeah, I do remember that pursuit, Desmond, and just from your vantage shot here, we can see just how many tires this cab has. So a spike strip, I mean, it would have to really do some damage early on to get this driver to stop. I'm curious, Desmond, by the time we got to your shot, it looked like there was not a lot of traffic in front of this big rig. Has the CHP started slowing down traffic ahead of it as we get closer to that afternoon start of the rush hour?
Yeah, I believe they have been shutting down lanes. When we were coming up out of Castaic, I noticed there was no southbound traffic coming. So I think CHP's been holding the off-ramps. There's only a couple of them between Castaic and the Grapevine. You have Temple and Highway, Vista del Lago, Smoky Bear Road, and the 138, and I believe that's it. So it doesn't take too much for them to get in place and hold those entrances. And plus, we're talking about the southbound 5. This is definitely the much more lightly traveled section this time of the afternoon. You know, any traffic you're going to see is going to be coming northbound, so probably not inconveniencing too many people at this point. But we'll just see how long this goes. We know that these big rigs can have some really, really big gas tanks. Just give us a second here as we're trying to. It's also extremely windy up here right now. We're kind of battling the wind. In fact, we might be getting blown south just a little bit. Sorry about that skid right there. We will reposition here in just a second. There we go. Getting away from that mountain and trying to give you this better perspective. So we're just south of Pyramid Lake, not even a mile. One of the slowest pursuits we've ever covered. But at this rate, we might not be into Castaic for another 15 minutes or so.
Yeah, and if anybody's been out today, they know it is windy, it is chilly out there. So I can only imagine in the chopper, Desmond, you fighting those winds there close to the pass there. Watching this pursuit unfold here, Desmond, what's interesting to me too is you would think somebody would want to steal a truck filled with merchandise or something, something like this. It's very high profile. It's very easy to spot. You were able to spot it right away. Just, I don't know, it just kind of baffles me as to why somebody would want to take this, because there's not much you could do with it unless you're going to pull some merchandise.
Yeah, definitely baffling. This is one of those situations where this person is almost certainly not going to get away in a vehicle that's not capable of, high speeds, even if they slammed on the gas pedal. Not a maneuverable vehicle, sticks out like a sore thumb. And right, they're not even. It's not even carrying anything. So, have to wonder, what's going on with this driver. There have been situations in the past where there's been disgruntled employees we know that have stolen trucks. Obviously, we don't know any information about that other than that this was reported stolen. So it could be any number of things, or if this driver is just having a mental breakdown. But this has been going on for a really long time. And I mean, especially if I'm not sure how long it's been at this slow of a speed. We first heard about this southbound 5 at the 138. We were hearing those speeds of 20, maybe 25 miles an hour. And if that's been the case the whole time, then this pursuit's probably been going on for more than 2 hours coming out of the Kern County area. And it's unclear where in Kern County, if it was in Lebec or Bakersfield or Wasco. I mean, it could have been in any of those locales. But now getting into LA County, covering a lot of distance, but at a very slow speed.
Yeah, no kidding. The county seat there of Kern County is indeed the Bakersfield area, Desmond. So that's what I first thought, is possibly that this driver has been traveling this great distance from Bakersfield. And let's face it, uphill, downhill. It's not an easy drive on these roads in the past there. I'm guessing this is somebody who is at least familiar with driving this type of vehicle. This driver is staying, for the most part, between the lines there. Pulled over for a second, was able to avoid those spike strips that we saw put down just a short time ago, and just the speed is more the interesting factor here. Going so slow, going southbound, now entering LA. It's in LA County. Again, not going too far, too fast, and no traffic. Look at this ahead.
Return. Yeah, no traffic ahead.
Yeah.
So I just got to tell you how tricky this is for us as we basically have to point the chopper into the wind, and then as the big rig comes south, we kind of have to get blown south by the wind and then turn back around. So this is a particularly tricky one for us. Let's see if we can get over a little more to the east here. My excellent pilot, Dylan, is at the helm of the chopper today in these high windy conditions. Apparently CHP's helicopters coming in now.
Okay.
We're hearing only about 10 seconds away or so. If they came all the way from Fullerton, that's where the local helicopters are based, to my knowledge. But so sorry, Juan, you were referencing this person having some idea how to drive a big rig, perhaps. Definitely not a guarantee. Again, I have to draw parallels with that other pursuit we had last year that was a pretty notorious pursuit with that big rig. That was, if memory serves, that was like a 19-year-old guy who I don't believe had any experience driving a big rig. And
unbelievable.
Kind of showed because they were just sticking to one lane the whole time. And that's kind of what this person has been doing, and turning the wheel very gently once they see the spike strips up ahead. So unclear. Is this a big rig driver who is having some kind of mental breakdown? Is this a disgruntled employee? Is this someone who was at a truck stop who saw an opportunity to steal a vehicle? Is this person under the influence? I mean, there's 100 different questions in our mind right now, and wish we had more information. But this sometimes with a lot of these pursuits, a lot of times we're just kind of flying blind with it.
Yeah, and a lot of variables, as you're mentioning, Desmond. One thing that I can see from your shot there is, as you said, the visibility. This driver sits up a lot higher than normal traffic. And the median, the center divider there is just a railing. So even if there is a CHP cruiser waiting by one of those breaks in the median to drop the spike strips, this driver can see this going on way ahead of time, and they can move over even slowly at this speed and avoid those spike strips. So, Desmond, from where you are right now, you're in Newhall, right? What is the next possible exit? I mean, eventually it's going to be getting into Santa Clarita and Valencia and those areas there. We're going to see a lot more traffic. The 14 crosses the 5 at that point. It's going to get busy.
Yeah, so we're southbound on the 5. We're in between Pyramid Lake and Castaic. The next ramp will be Templin Highway, and then as we get into the Castaic area, that's where we'll begin to see some traffic. And you know what? I just want to pan up and show you because, I mean, this is going so slowly. I don't think we're going to miss anything. But now we're starting to see the traffic backup of everyone who did get stuck in this as they come away from Pyramid Lake, and there is quite a bit of traffic. So these folks down here probably extremely frustrated now that they had been held at those ramps for probably a very long time because this person was going so slowly. This is probably traffic coming, from Gorman.
Wow.
And so it is creating actually a really huge and unusual traffic back. But look at all these big rigs, all these people that are trapped behind this CHP escort that is just going along, basically idling along here. You can imagine their frustration because someone decided to take a big rig. Who knows what's going on in their head right now, but they are refusing to pull over, and it's going to get even way more frustrating for people once we get down into Castaic, Santa Clarita, and the Newhall Pass if it continues that far.
Yeah, no doubt, and hopefully at least those drivers are moving slowly, which of course helps with that feeling of feeling impatient and just just concerned about what's going on. But when you see the traffic heading northbound zooming by you, you know that something definitely has got to be happening there on the 5 freeway, and we're watching it unfold here. This is a slow speed pursuit, as you see right here, of a cab that belongs to a semi-truck going at a very slow rate of speed. This cab was first reported stolen out of Kern County, so possibly, as Desmond was saying, out of Bakersfield, possibly. That's the county seat there of Kern County. Whether this truck was taken from a truck stop or from a parking lot where the keys, left in the ignition there. How did this driver get in there? But at some point, it was reported stolen. CHP has been trying to get this driver to pull over, and for the most part, what we're seeing here is exactly what you're looking at. We're watching it unfold. We're wondering the same thing you are wondering at home is what's going to be happening next. I mean, even if he does pull over, the cars behind who the CHP are escorting, they're going to still have to wait to get the driver has to get into custody. They got to move this out of the way. So it's going to be a while. Anybody heading southbound right now on the 5 freeway there in the Newhall Pass heading into Castaic, Santa Clarita, and eventually LA County there, it's going to be very, very slow go this afternoon on a day like today where, for the most part, as you were saying, Desmond, this time of day, 2:48 p.m., traffic should have been light. It should be, one of those times that you do want to hit the freeway because you're going to miss some of that heavier traffic in the afternoon. Don't you agree?
Yeah, definitely, and it's why it's just so frustrating for everyone who is stuck in this. I mean, it is really jammed. This southbound 5 for probably 5 miles as I look to the north, almost up to where the snow line is from that recent storm. And definitely traffic that folks would not expect. There's tons of big rigs. Obviously, this is the road that all the big rigs take between the ports and, pretty much everywhere all the way up towards Canada. And so, you're going to have a lot of deliveries that are going to be late because of this person. And, how is CHP going to approach this? We know that they're trying spike strips, even if this person is not paying attention and they do spike, these big beefy tires. That's not necessarily going to stop this. Just speaking from experience, where they spiked tires 12 times, at least on that other big rig, and they were successful, and tires deflated, and the truck just continued to go. The other factor is how much fuel is in this truck. If it had a full tank of fuel, this thing could go to Mexico if it wanted. It could probably, make it halfway through Mexico, because it not only is it not hauling anything, so it's going to be getting better gas mileage, but also going at this way lower speed, it's going to be conserving fuel. So this really has the potential to go the distance if this driver decides to go, and if CHP continues to let it go. Obviously, there's not going to be a pit maneuver or anything like that. I'm not even sure that they could bring in a Bearcat if they wanted to ram this person over to the center divider. We've seen that before, but not with a big rig. So it's really, kind of confounding how this is all going to play out and how long it'll take to play out.
Desmond, as I was listening to you reporting there, it looked like there was some sort of movement there from the driver, whether he was looking at a map book, some sort of paperwork. Something was on the driver's side. It was almost like on the dashboard. See, there's some movement right there. You see it?
Yep. Yeah, I did see that movement. If it was a map or a truck manifest or something like that. Yeah, you really would love to be a fly on the wall inside and see what this person's doing and what they're thinking. And there's no indication that we've heard so far that this person is armed or anything like that. I mean, we'll see if we're able to call any more information about this pursuit from Kern County sheriffs. But so this started with them and went off to CHP. And, now it's going to be with LA County CHP for as long as they want to continue taking this. There's no indication that they're just going to cancel this. That they're just going to let this one go. I mean, they've been with it as long as they have been. They've been with it for a very long time. So it sounds like they will be determined to stay with this, however it ends. But when we do eventually get back down into Castaic, and we're still quite a ways from there. There you see CHP's helicopter going through the shot. But and as we get pushed, it's kind of funny because. Even idling up here, we're getting pushed and we're moving farther south at a faster pace than the big rig is, and we're not even trying to. The wind is just pushing us to the south. The winds are about 35 knots right now, so if you see that our skid getting the shot momentarily, that's our pilot Dylan doing the best to handle these winds right now as he can. Definitely a challenging one for us to cover, and this person just a very leisurely pace here, 8 miles an hour. We're lucky if we get up into double digits. We'll eventually be at Templin Highway, but we'll see how long that takes.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. And as you say, at this speed, it could take some time as well. Well, no doubt, Desmond, you guys are doing a great job up there dealing with the winds and having to keep the camera right there in the middle of the shot there. Props to your pilot, Dylan, for keeping you guys, in the air and dealing with Mother Nature, which is something, of course, that is unpredictable. But here you're giving us a pretty good shot there, Des. We can see, look, a little bit more movement. Look at that, some paper being moved around. And, we can see, at least it looks like, Desmond, right now, it looks like it's just that one person maybe wearing a blue baseball hat is what I'm looking at. It looks like a man. Yeah.
Might have been it might have been a blue visor or something. Yeah, looking around. Got some papers there.
That's a great
that's interesting.
shot.
Putting looks like he was trying to put some paper up on the windshield there. But there you see blue visor, maybe a blue hat, bending down, not really paying attention. At least there's no one in front of this person, and that they could run into, and at least not going very quickly if they're not going to be paying attention. So, danger to the public right now, definitely minimal, but frustration extremely high for everyone that is stuck behind this person. Yeah, lots of fidgeting all over the place. Wonder what they're reading, what they're looking at. If they're looking for something specific.
It looked to me like he might have had a pen or a marker in his hand. I wonder if he's trying to write something. That would be interesting, right? If he's trying to send a message. Knowing that the choppers are above watching him, it seemed like that's sort of something. He was flipping over to the side of that piece of paper that it looked like nothing on it. At least that's what I'm thinking. I don't know. We're just piecing this together, Desmond. We kind of go with what we see, and just like the folks at home, just wonder what's going to be happening here.
Yeah, it did look like maybe they are trying to put a message out the front. We have seen that before. Usually after they come to a stop is when they're trying to write down a message, not when they're actively, being pursued by the police. But we're actually going to be coming up to a big rig parking spot here, a brake check area. I believe they call this the Whitaker brake check area. And I think that's where CHP might be. Well, no, I don't see any cruisers down there. They have been talking about setting up spike strips, but I'm wondering if they're just going to give up on that. It seems futile. This person's already dodged 3 or 4 spikes. Even if they get it out there, is it going to do anything? It might just be, that officer might just be endangering themselves trying to do that. I'm kind of doubtful that would even bring this, to a conclusion. So. We'll see if this is just going to be the long wait. Look at that.
What's he doing there,
They are putting something out there. Let's see if we can read. I'm not sure that I'll be able to.
Yeah.
It kind of seems like it. Trying to adjust my focus and really put the digital zoom in here.
Yeah.
See if they have something written down. Unfortunately, it's.
I can't tell either, Desmond. I'm looking on a big monitor here either, but. Yeah, it's hard, and it's the white surface, and it's very bright outside. It's hard to see exactly what. Oh, I'm starting to see something. Okay, let's see. That's a really good shot. We can see what's going on inside. Yeah.
Well, let me see if I can do a little magic here and put in a different type of zoom that may be more effective. A little too much there. Let's see. Let's just take that down. This is extremely tricky. Well,
see, it looks like he's got a pen in his hand.
Let's see if they put it back up there again.
Okay,
he's
look.
definitely writing something down.
Okay.
He wants to communicate something to us. We're the ones with the cameras up here.
Yeah, well, if he can hear us.
Although I believe CHP has,
Go ahead, Des.
Sorry, I was just going to say, I think CHP has they have a camera as well. I don't know that it's as sophisticated as our camera system. Nothing against CHP, but we've got the latest and greatest technology up here with several different types of zoom. So we will try our best once we get another vantage point to see if we can get a view at what they were perhaps trying to communicate there.
Looks like the side of the van there, Desmond. It's UT Trans Inc., the company that owns this truck, right? Does that look like UT to you?
UT Trans Inc. So we'll see if,
I'm gonna look it up.
Perhaps our intrepid assignment desk will be able to make some phone calls to them if they're able to get in touch and see if they want to say anything. Who knows? The company may not want to talk about anything what's going on. They may not have any more information than we have right now. I mean, we'll just see. But we know Kern County, UT Trans, and this may not even be a company based in California. You know how these big rigs are all over the country. This could be
I have
Texas
an answer for you,
or
Des.
Idaho or who knows. Okay, go ahead.
I have an answer. Our producer telling us this is from Ontario, Canada. UT Trans Inc., located in Ontario, Canada. So north of the border is where this truck came from. And it may have been in the United States making some runs for quite a while before it was stolen. So, and here we have it here. So quite a ways, quite a distance from the Canadian border there. But again, stolen, or at least reported stolen, somewhere in Kern County. We're thinking possibly Bakersfield or that area right there. Not too long ago, we saw the driver looking for what looked like either a map or some sort of paperwork. And it looked like he was writing some sort of message. He put it on the dashboard. Even with our very sophisticated cameras and our zoom in and Dez's eyes, my eyes, our producer's eyes in the control room, we couldn't figure out what he was saying. But it looks like he's stopped moving around as much as he did before, but still going very slowly. Take a look on the right side of your screen. This is what I was talking about just a few seconds ago, Desmond. And if you have a monitor up there, you can watch along with me. But here he is again. He takes that map or that piece of paper, and not sure what he scribbled on it. We're guessing he did, because why would he have put it on the dashboard? And perhaps he does know that we're talking about him. And he put it away for a second. Maybe he's going to try to rewrite what he was trying to communicate to us, but it sure looked like that. Desmond, where are you now? It looks like you passed some sort of signage there.
I believe we are still in the vicinity of Templin Highway on this one. Yeah, so you can see there from our map tracker here. So again, there's there's quite a bit of distance between the ramps here on this section of the 5 between Castaic and the Grapevine. You have 5, 6, 7 miles between some of the exits. So that's why we haven't really seen any other overcrossings that will be. We haven't crossed any other exits here, but we're coming up on Templin High. We'll just go ahead and zoom out and show you the area that we're talking about.
Yeah, show us.
An area where we had a fairly serious fire here not too long ago, and it is a pretty windy today as well. And right down in that, so yeah, there's Templin Highway right by that mobile home community, which was really threatened by that fire that we had been covering. So we might see some burn scar once we get south of Templin Highway, but. And zooming back in, and here we are, 11, 9, 8, 10 miles an hour, just barely coasting along. Well, kind of drifting into the center divider here as this driver. I mean, it's got to be kind of difficult for this person to be driving something this big, this slowly.
It looks like it's windy
I feel
down
like
there
it
too.
would be very easy. Yeah, well, lucky if they were carrying the trailer, it could be a little bit more complicated for this person. Of course, they're going kind of with the wind. The wind is really at the back of this trailer, and so I almost wonder if the wind is even the only reason why we're going as fast as we are. This person might not have their foot on the gas pedal at all, but going this slow, I feel like it would just be so easy to zone out here. So you just have to wonder what's going through this person's head, and are they hungry? Are they thirsty? How long are they willing to drag this out? It's pretty much inevitable how this is going to end. It's just a matter of when this person is going to be in handcuffs.
Yeah, we all know how this ends, Desmond. And I was curious earlier, we already saw that one attempt at the spike strip. That officer, those are very heavy, and he had one spike strip. I wonder if officers have enough spike strips to just cover all lanes of traffic, including, the shoulder and the center divider, so there's no other way to keep going forward unless you go over these spike strips. Do you have any clue on that?
No, that's a really good point, and officers would certainly have more than enough time to set something like that up. And as I'm looking down at Templin Highway, I see officers that look like they're ready to hold traffic, but they're not actively out there with any spike strips. There are several units down at the Templin on-ramp here, and as this comes south, they're going to block. So this person that just got on the freeway right now is very lucky because they probably just saved an hour or so of their life. I'll just show you here as we get towards Templin Highway. This person right here really just dodged a traffic bullet, because if they were 1 minute later trying to get on the freeway, they were going to get stuck in this miserable backup. We'll just go ahead and show you that again as everyone just kind of snakes down the 5. The backup extends much farther than that. Probably, I can even show you. I'll take the speedometer down right there. I mean, look at how far.
Wow.
Even this is looking back several miles.
It's really bad.
Just complete jam up. All of this traffic getting clogged up because someone has decided to go for a joyride in a stolen big rig out of Kern County.
Indeed, and we're watching this unfold right now here on KCAL 9 and on CBS LA. CBS Los Angeles here, CBS News Los Angeles, I should say, and a very slow speed pursuit of this this stolen cab from the Kern County area. And it's a driver, for what we can figure out. It's just one person inside that cab. No idea where this cab was stolen from, at least at this moment, but we do know it was reported stolen out of Kern County. They've been trying to get this driver to pull over, but what you're seeing right now is what we've been watching for the last 30 minutes or so, is this driver going at a very slow rate of speed through the Newhall Pass, heading into Castaic, heading into eventually Valencia, Santa Clarita, more populated areas. But in this stretch, other than that mobile home park that Desmond showed us a little while ago, not a very populated area, but a very well transited area. A lot of people do use the 5 freeway, obviously, to head north and south through this corridor there. And you can see all the other big rigs heading northbound right now. So you can only imagine heading southbound Lots of big rigs in that stuck traffic right now, hopefully waiting for this driver to pull over. And as you've been saying, Desmond, we all know how these stories end, and it's with a driver in custody. So what he's trying to negotiate, who he's trying to talk to, we saw him trying to possibly communicate with the helicopters up above. We couldn't tell what he was saying, but my guess is that's what he was probably trying to do. And as you said, we don't know if he has some sort of mental stress, if he's under the influence, if he's going under some sort of a trauma or duress. Just do not know. Just watching this continue moving southbound in the Newhall area. And you know what's interesting, Desmond, when we watch those high-speed pursuits, we see those city streets and those cities change. Oh, what's happening here? Another spike strip?
Yeah, Juan, you answered your own question here. They definitely had enough spikes. And there it goes, just kind of getting chewed up now. It might be hanging off the side. I believe that's the first successful spike strip we've had. So there you go. All of these officers who were down here, they had so much time to prep for that, to get those spike strips out there. And so that's what we got. And they are saying successful spikes. So definitely got one of those front tires. But again, is it going to matter? And is this going to change the behavior of the driver? Is this going to agitate them more? Here they are holding that sign up again. Oh, just a little bit too much. Oh, it looks like almost like we could get a look at that. It's just very hard to maintain really good.
It's just too far of a distance,
clarity.
Even with the zoom.
Yeah, I think it would have to be really, really large and letters with a thick black marker for us to be able to see. So
well, if he pulls
I really
over,
wish we could see what they're saying. Yeah.
If he pulls over, he can tell police what he wants to say, and we can pass it along to our viewers. That's for sure.
Yeah, well, probably on. I've got to imagine this person's making some phone calls to someone. If it's to some friends or family who may be relaying something to the police, or if he's talking with them directly. A lot of times with these really, really long pursuits, there will be some sort of back and forth going on, over a cell phone line between the authorities and the suspect. But unclear if that's happened. We haven't seen this person on a phone. It seems like they're really determined to communicate in the most rudimentary way possible there with a crumpled up piece of paper, and it might have just been, ballpoint pen. If this person at least had a Sharpie or something, maybe we could see what they're trying to say. So
well, we just showed our viewers,
maybe
Desmond.
Maybe they could use the flashers. I was thinking maybe they could use the flashers to communicate some Morse code or something. That might be a little bit more effective.
Yeah, it would be, Desmond. Take a look, Desmond, if you can see from your vantage point, that front passenger side tire looks like it's pretty low on air. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, right on cue. Right on cue. Wow, that's actually one of the fastest that I've ever seen the rubber separate from the wheel right there.
That
now
either.
that rubber caught underneath here, this could start a fire. All the friction going on, a lot of heat. Let's hope that's not the case, especially where we're at. I showed you how brushy this area is. It's very windy today. So I really hope that this isn't a situation where this could start a fire, or that spike strip, making if it's still hanging on the other side, and that could create sparks. We've seen huge brush fires start that way. We'll see if we get the opportunity to go to the other side of the big rig here momentarily. Give my pilot Dylan here a little bit of time, and then see if that spike strip is still hanging from the other side.
I think
didn't
it
see
is, Desmond. I didn't see it pop out from underneath the car.
Yeah.
So, and it looks like the rim is still going. A lot of times, when you see this, the rim locks up and it doesn't continue to go around. But we can see it right here pretty clearly. It's moving.
And here again with the sign up there, wanting to say.
I wish I could
something.
read it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, maybe CHP will have better luck because they're a lot lower than us. Maybe they'll see that message and communicate.
I can see some smoke now, Desmond. You see that? by the tire.
Yeah, a little bit of smoke. Yeah, it's a little bit unnerving.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, my pilot Dylan did ask CHP's helicopter, could you see what that person has written down there? What are they trying to say? And he said, no, we can't quite see it either. So it's still a mystery to all of us what they're saying. But look at all this smoke coming up right now. I hope CHP will be at the ready to, if they probably have a fire extinguisher on board or something. If that does catch fire, we'll just have to see. But tons of friction there between the big rig and the asphalt on that tire that fell out. And let's see the other tire here if that got hit. I can't. That tire still looks like it's doing okay.
Yeah.
We'll just get way in there.
But where's the spike strip? I think it's still stuck underneath somewhere.
Yeah, it might be somewhere down in this area.
Those tires look
behind
good.
The rear tires. Yeah. A little bit of smoke there. I'm not sure if that's coming from the rubber on the other side. So here we're going under the lower crossover, and now we'll be back on the west side of the southbound 5. So that tells us we are getting into Castaic, and we're definitely going to start to see. Well, I was going to say we're going to start to see some more traffic, but I guess we're really not, because CHP is holding all of these ramps. Again, very unfortunate for people as we're on Thursday, a very busy traffic day of the week. And even though it's the southbound side, it's still going to be frustrating for a lot of folks if this person decides to continue going. We'll get to the point as well where even if CHP is holding on and off ramps, where once we get past the Newhall Pass, this person could still end up bumping into some traffic, and we'll see how that dynamic plays out.
Desmond, we're showing our viewers once again those 3 spike strips that the CHP laid out, and the one closest to the center divider was the one that this driver went over, and I don't think it was more than 5 minutes after that we saw that passenger side front tire fall right off the rim, which was pretty amazing because we think these tires are pretty big. They could possibly handle quite a bit of damage. I mean, we've seen these blowouts just as drivers driving on the freeway. We see those tires on the side of the road. But look at that, Desmond, still smoking. That tire still attached to the cab of that, to the cab of this car.
Yeah, and now that I think about it, I mean, there it goes. Finally dislodged.
Okay.
So that's a relief, and CHP will be able to stop and pick that tire up very quickly, so that none of those super frustrated drivers behind them get caught up with that hazard. But so now it's just again, just because we're down to metal on one of these tires. They might have to get the rubber off of the other tires if there's really any hope of stopping this before this driver, forcing a stop to this, I should say. Once they can get the rubber off of the other tire, those are those are the wheels that are driving the power of this thing, and we'll see. Actually, you know what? Someone may need to check me on that. I'm not honestly super familiar with the drivetrains of big rigs, but. I would think that if we could lose the other front tire, that would hopefully bring this to an end.
Well, that would bring the cab lower, right, onto the street, and possibly just create more damage to the front bumper, the undercarriage of the cab, and just hopefully make just so much noise that the driver definitely pulls over and stops. But you know what's interesting, Desmond, when you give us those close-up shots of that rim, you can see how that rim is etching into the asphalt of the 5 freeway there. So I think it's still quite a bit of weight and just a lot of damage that this rim can cause to the fire. Luckily, we don't see smoke coming out from that rim anymore, but still you do see quite a bit of damage.
Yeah, this is definitely a situation where sparks could fly from metal on asphalt like this.
Yeah, look at that.
And starting, might be a little smoke coming from the other side as well. So once we'll go back to the driver's side here momentarily. Once this person goes through us, going over to the center. No, okay, just kind of
more spike strips.
Just zoning out there for a second, but no, don't see any spike strips here, but. At least, since the driver is on the left side of the freeway and it's the right tire where we could potentially see sparks, that will hopefully prevent any fire, anything, any brush on the right-hand shoulder from catching fire or something, and we'll come out, and we are getting into that burn scar now from that huge fire that we covered just a few months ago here. It was near the lower crossover down in this area. You might see a little bit of the residual kind of char from that fire. That was all right down here north of the Castaic area. But CHP just content to be incredibly patient with this. There's a lot of communication going on with the dispatchers. I'm hearing a lot of chatter, just kind of position updates, different units coming and going. And they're probably going to be planning some more spike strips up ahead in the Castaic area. And we'll be getting down towards that snow gate at Parker Road. I believe that's going to be the next exit, but though that's still some distance. We're almost parallel to Lake Castaic. And here you see, who's that up there? Nope. Okay. might be somebody who's perched up and taking a look at the slow speed pursuit from the old Ridge Route Road right there. There's CHP's helicopter monitoring this as well. So what's going to happen next? Down one tire, but not deterring this driver of the stolen big rig out of Kern County.
Yeah, no doubt. And I'm just also curious too, again, is to see the other side of the cab there, Desmond, because as we saw earlier, that spike strip went over those front two tires. So just wondering whether, at some point that other tire, the driver's side front tire, has hit some sort of damage, because I do see a little bit of puffs of smoke, kind of like billow out from underneath the cab. So maybe that's something we can look at if you guys can take a look around to the other side.
Yeah, we are making our way over here now, and indeed you are starting to see some smoke, and I'm hearing there may be some sparks coming off of that side as well, which is a little bit unnerving. But now the driver in the middle of the roadway, and we're through an area that's already burned, so maybe a bit serendipitous in that way that in theory wouldn't be able to start a huge fire or anything like that.
Look at the smoke
taking off. So here we come now. Definitely starting to see the smoke. So perhaps, maybe they did hit this tire as well. It looked like it was inflated pretty well, but maybe that was just taking some time.
It looks like it's locked, Desmond. Look at that.
Come off.
It looks like the rim's not moving.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, it is. Okay, so this, now, and I'm sure some of my car friends were just yelling at the television screen how I didn't realize that these are obviously rear-wheel drive vehicles right here.
I did not know that either, Desmond.
Look at this. Yeah, I mean, look at this vehicle completely locked up. I don't know that I've ever seen this before. A wheel just
I see
not
flames.
spinning.
I see flames, Des.
Oh boy.
I see flames. You see it?
Okay. Now this. Yeah, I do. And now, how's this? This has got to force the end of this, right? This big rig could potentially. Burst into flames right now.
Those flames are right under his feet, Desmond. Those are right under his feet. He's got to know what's going on. And for some reason, he could hear us. You might want to pull over, because it's getting worse by the second here. Because look at this. Smoke is billowing from the other side of the cab. This is just, look, he's waving. Pull over, guy. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
He needs to pull over. This is terrible. Well, folks, we're going to stay with this as long as we can. If something horrible happens, we're going to have to pull away from it. But you can see what's happening live right here on KCAL 9. Desmond bringing us these amazing pictures from a slow-speed pursuit in Castaic in the Newhall area here. Things changing very quickly. And it looks like he's stopping, Des. It looks like he is stopping. Now, get out of that cab as fast as... I don't even know where the gas tanks are on these things, Desmond. I'm not familiar with these vehicles either, but look how the wind is fanning those flames. Okay, he's out. Oh my gosh.
And now we've got to get LA County Fire up here really quickly. Okay,
you better step away.
That's all good. Happy that this is finally going to be ending. But
my goodness.
Let's just hope that this person is not about to start a big brush fire, because we were talking about sparks before, but now we've got full-on flames coming out of the front of this big rig. And I'm sure dispatchers are on the phone with LA County Fire right now. They could, they're going to need to get a helicopter up here just as a precaution, if anything,
Look at
coming out of Whiteman Airport.
Goodness.
But This big rig is going to be engulfed in flames here shortly. And, you know, even though we are in this burn scar, we've got heavy winds today, and all it's going to take is one ember to fly somewhere and start a fire. Intense flames now coming from this. Look at this. So it's obviously made it in. Yeah, must have hit the fuel pump or the fuel lines here, and that is going to be it for this big rig. Wow, just incredible to watch this. I don't think I've ever seen a pursuit end in a raging big rig fire before.
My goodness. And where's the driver now, Desmond?
Yes, let's get our eyes on the driver here. They are being taken into custody.
Okay, there
CHP.
he is.
Yeah.
Oh,
so that brings, and you can see their shirt kind of flapping in the wind, showing you just how.
That, yeah.
And now CHP has the unenviable task of coming and clearing this big rig that is on fire. So they just need to make sure that there's no one else in the vehicle. It's just kind of standard protocol, but they're not going to endanger themselves anymore. So
the cab is totally engulfed now, Des. Yeah.
Yeah. And so now we got to get LA County Fire up here, and it's going to take some time to get an engine up here. They may actually be able to drive the wrong way up the freeway because CHP has had lanes shut down, but they're going to have to get someone coming out of Castaic to rush up here and put this out. It really is kind of amazing, if there's any saving grace here, is that we are in an area, again, that has already burned. We covered this fire just a couple of months ago. Ended up being a pretty sizable fire that burned itself out when it got to Lake Castaic, but still a very
Are those power lines, Des, right here, there, where the smoke is kind of billowing over to? Those are power lines, right? Yep. But pretty far. I think they're pretty far enough away.
High-tension power lines there.
Yeah.
Definitely. But we'll see what'll happen with. I haven't heard too much communication about getting LA County Fire up here right now, but I have to imagine that they've been dispatched. I'm looking at lanes of the southbound 5, seeing if there's any flashing lights coming northbound, but not so far.
Desmond, fire trucks arriving. Some help on the way.
Yeah, it looks like they must have actually been coming from Pyramid Lake or Smoky Bear Road. I know they have a fire station up there, so they had to fight through all this traffic, probably just made it on the right-hand shoulder, and now they're coming, ironically, from the north. I thought for sure they were going to be coming from the south, but they'll be making it down here, and, you know, this big rig is really kind of starting to burn itself out, so they may not even have too much cleanup to do, but again, once they get this out, it's, you know, if CHP has to do anything with the wreckage, at the very least, I'm sure they're going to have to take a lot of photographs, and then LA County Fire is going to continue to hit this with water for quite some time, and at best, if folks are lucky, they're going to get a couple of the right lanes open, maybe even just the right lane. So I was actually hearing CHP sounds like they're planning on trying to turn some of those poor folks around and get them going on the shoulder to get back up, at least to get them off at Templin Highway so they can go to the Ridge route. But, you know, even if they do that, folks stuck in this, I mean, it could still be, you know, at minimum hour or even a 2-hour delay for everyone stuck in that.
No doubt. Well, help has arrived. As you see there, firefighters getting outside of their truck, assessing the situation, and they're going to be dousing this with a lot of water, perhaps some foam as well, because this is a gas fire, a diesel fire, I'm guessing. So they're going to want to get this out as quickly as possible. So we're going to watch that unfold right now. The good news is the faster they can put the flames out, the faster this investigation can move forward and hopefully get some of those commuters heading southbound on the 5 on their way. But my goodness, from what we can see, not much left of the cab. You can see quite a bit of just melted bumper and melted plastic and metal on the freeway right there. That needs to be cleaned up before they allow drivers to go through there. So looks like, Desmond, they've already started to hit the cab with some water there.
Yeah, and you're starting to see that white smoke instantly. I think the big rig had burned through a lot of its fuel already, so they may be able to get this snuffed out here momentarily here pretty quickly. So it's just kind of a melted pile of slag now at this point, the remnants of this stolen big rig. You have to wonder if that company was watching us from Canada on our CBS LA app, seeing one of their trucks go up in flames. Must have been awfully frustrating for them. Maybe we could help them get a jump start on the insurance claims at the very least. So, obviously very unfortunate for them, but no one was injured. I mean, just imagine if this would have caught fire, closer to the LA metro area. Who knows what this could have turned into.
No kidding. The fact that it is here kind of in a more remote area of Castaic, Desmond, and in an area that had already burned, I think the circumstances of the end of this pursuit, other than the loss of this truck, which is obviously valuable to the company who owns it, there were no injuries, no other drivers were injured, and just getting this fire out right now is the priority of firefighters on the scene, who actually arrived pretty quickly, about 10 minutes after this fire started. So that was very quick. You mentioned they may have come from Pyramid Lake, so that's not too far of a distance. And luckily, I guess there was enough shoulder or a center divider there for them to cut through some of that traffic and get to where they needed to be to put this fire out. As you mentioned, lots of white smoke. That's some good news. And we should possibly see in just a few seconds or so exactly what's left of this cab. My guess, Desmond, it's still going to be smoldering for quite a bit, because nothing inside that cab. A lot of those cabs have sleeping quarters inside, just a lot of paperwork, a lot of things that the drivers need to do their jobs. All of it burned right now.
And maybe some personal effects of whoever this truck belonged to, or whose driver, whoever might have been driving this. There's another vehicle coming. This might be a heavy-duty tow truck. Let's just zoom out and see who else is coming down the roadway right now. There they are. And here, by the way, just this is what I'm talking about. All of these big rig drivers, all of these box trucks, some motorcyclists here, all of them. I mean, you can just probably imagine them see a big plume of smoke go up, and they're saying, "Oh no, I've already been stuck here so long. How much longer?" I've really just got to be pulling their hair out in this entire situation to be so unlucky. But here comes a heavy-duty tow truck. I'm not sure what's going to be left to tow at this point to get it out of the way. If there's anything even that's intact enough for them to get onto the back of a tow truck. But they're coming here. They managed to make it down here pretty quickly as well. And now back to the scene, and we see the remnants of the fire and whatever is left of this stolen big rig out of Canada.
Well, if I was stuck in traffic now and I saw that tow truck going by, I'd feel a little better about the situation, because it's still going to take a while, as you mentioned, Desmond. First of all, the fire's got to be put out. They have to document exactly what happened here. And then there's just all that other material that's melted onto the freeway there. That's going to take a while to clean up as well. It could be lubricants. It could be just material that's not safe for drivers to drive on top of. So not much left of that cab, as you see here. A cab that was reported stolen out of the Bakersfield area, perhaps. Kern County, we know for sure. This is a truck, a cab that belongs to a company that operates out of Ontario, Canada. We do know that. We were able to track that down. The circumstances regarding where it was stolen, how it was stolen, the person who is now in custody, we still don't know. That's going to be part of an ongoing investigation. But again, here we go. Firefighters now going to be hitting it from the other side, from the passenger side of the cab right there, to make sure that this fire is out. We're not seeing that dark billowing black smoke that we saw early on. We're seeing a lot of that white smoke. So that's definitely a good thing. And another good thing, Desmond, is that truck, fire truck, has enough water in it to put out this fire, that they didn't need to bring in a second truck or try to figure out, if they run out of water, what to do, right?
Yeah, absolutely, because there's no, easy water source right here in the area. So it does look like that mixture of water and foam. Now, they actually managed to get a second engine here as well.
Oh, yeah.
Should definitely be enough to get this taken down. Now, the somewhat good news, at least, is CHP really is trying to do this as quickly as possible. They are talking about reopening those two right lanes as soon as that fire is out. And we saw that big rig tow that was coming down here as well to perhaps tow it a little bit out of the way. It looks like they'll be able to hook up to the rear wheels and drag this melted mess out of the roadway.
Yeah.
But Yeah, was anything else spilled on the roadway? Is there any oil down there? Do we got to get Caltrans out here with some of the Absorball to get that stuff out of the way? So this could still be a multi-hour ordeal.
Yeah. Good news is, Desmond, you said if they do open up those 2 right lanes, traffic will slowly get to head southbound, but then, of course, you're going to get stuck in looky-loo traffic, so that might slow you down as well. Plus, those big rigs are still traveling the same roadways as you, so that can slow things down as well. But some good news is that eventually, if they can open up those 2 right lanes, they can get traffic moving again as we approach, get closer to that afternoon rush, as we get closer to 4 o'clock, of course. Traffic could get heavier throughout the afternoon there as it heads into Castaic, Valencia, Santa Clarita, into more populated areas. But my goodness, everything happening so quickly here. You can see here the firefighters dousing the cab still with lots of water, making sure that the fire is 110% out before they can actually tow this away. But again, how long will this investigation take? Unknown. They are trying to fast track things. As Desmond was saying, they're hoping to open up those 2 right lanes shortly. And for the most part, this pursuit came to an end in the best way possible, where nobody was hurt. Just a lot of property damage, as we see right here, and some damage to the freeway, and a lot of people stuck in traffic wondering when they're going to get started. Desmond, have you seen any more movement there? Any other?
From lanes reopening?
Yeah. Anything?
Not quite yet, but let's just go ahead and show you what everyone is dealing with. As you were saying, Juan, the best way possible for the public, but the worst way possible for all of these drivers that are stuck here. And I really, really do feel for all of these folks. So here's where it starts, just south of Templin Highway, and it extends way beyond. I mean, I can't even show you the entire backup here, back getting towards Pyramid Lake. You see some big rigs just pulling over and just throwing up their hands and just saying, forget this. I'm just going to pull over, maybe get some shut-eye until all of this wraps up. But, you know, for folks that may be savvy enough, and yeah, it's really crazy. But for folks that may be savvy enough, then you might know there's Ridge Route Road right here. If you can get off of the freeway, here's one smart trucker at Templin Highway. This was the original route over the Grapevine before the 5 freeway. There was US 99. This was that road. And so these folks are who know what they're doing are definitely saving quite a bit of time getting over this, but especially now, because once everyone wises up to it, this road is going to get completely jammed up as well. All
right, Desmond, hey, we have Officer Torres with the California Highway Patrol on the phone with us, hoping to fill in some of the gaps of this story. Officer Torres, hello, thanks for being with us.
Hi, how are you guys? What's
going on here? Can you tell us what you know regarding this pursuit and where we stand right now?
Yeah, I don't have much information. All we have right so far is at approximately 12:48 in the afternoon. The sheriff department was in pursuit of a stolen vehicle, a white semi-truck that occurred in Kern County at about southbound 5, south of Gorman School. The sheriff department requested CHP to take over, in which we did. The vehicle continued in slow speeds throughout the entire pursuit. We ended up deploying some spike strips which were successful. The vehicle ended up becoming even slower than what it was. Unfortunately, it did go up in flames, at which point that the driver did give up and is currently being detained by our units down on the ground. We did have the fire department coming out. They put out that vehicle, the flames of the vehicle. We still have traffic stopped. We hope to clear those and get those off the freeway.
Yeah, it looks like you guys are doing a good job. Before we let you go, officer, we saw the driver. It looked like he was trying to send a message or write something down on a piece of paper. Do you have any idea from officers there on scene what he was trying to communicate?
We do not know.
What a mystery. All right, so what do you think is going to happen here? Can they tow this away once the fire is out, or do they still need to document, take pictures, and whatnot? What's the time frame for people sitting in traffic when they can possibly see those two right lanes open up?
As of right now, we're still not sure. It depends on the fire department while they put that fire out and have that tow company come out and put that pick up the tow and tow that vehicle. So as of right now, we still don't know. It's undetermined.
Gotcha. And do you know how it was reported stolen? Who figured out that the cab was stolen?
As of right now, we do not
Gotcha.
know.
All right, it's still an unfolding story. All right, Officer Torres with the California Highway Patrol, thank you so much for joining me today.